So it's 2024 and you're again thinking about hiring a marketing agency to help you run your Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever you want to do. But over the last couple of years, you've been burned multiple times. Now, in this video, I'm going to teach you what makes an agency actually provide the results they claim. It's not the new strategy, it's not a hack, it's actually the day-to-day systems that keep the agency running and continuously optimized. I'm going to give you the insider perspective of what you actually need to be looking out for as a business owner trying to hire a new agency. And it's all going to make perfect sense. Now, before we dig in deeper, my name is Ivan Yanku and I started Digital Rocket 8 years ago. We had to go through a lot of changes and we needed to learn a lot of different systems and processes. So I'm going to teach you what are the red flags of a marketing agency, what systems they need to have, and how to actually pick the right one for your business. This video is going to be split into two sides. One is going to be talking about the systems the business needs to have, while the other side is going to be talking about the most common practices people use to find a marketing agency for them that now backfires almost all the time because agencies adjusted to those questions. So let's begin. First things first, communication. It doesn't matter what you do in your life, good communication is key. So if you do not have a Slack channel, Discord, Teams, doesn't matter what it is, but the main point is to be a chat, you are going to have a problem. If you can imagine something bad happens, your website goes down, or you went out of stock or something else and you need to stop your ads and the agency takes 12 hours to respond. So email is not fast enough, especially if you're spending a lot of money on the ads. So think about finding an agency that's going to be fast to connect with. Regarding the reports, there are two sides to the reports. One is going to be the frequency of the reports, and another one is going to be the quality of the reports. Regarding frequency, you have two types of agencies. One is that sends out a weekly report, another one sends out a monthly report. I think that every single agency, even outside of the marketing sphere, you need to send out a weekly report because you want the client to exactly know what you're doing so they don't think like, oh my God, it's been 2 weeks and I don't have a clue what's going on with my account. That makes the clients, or in this case you, super nervous and not trusting the company in the process. So the continuous flow of information is going to be key, but think about what quality information you're going to need as well. Now for this side, I'm going to switch to my computer and just show you what a good report looks like compared to a bad one. Okay, so this is a customer that started working with us this month, and they sent me this report and asked me, can I get something out of this? The main thing is you actually can. The main reason why they send out a report like this is so you are not able to see if they're doing a good job or not. You really, as a business owner, don't care about the cost per click and the amount of clicks if they didn't result in sales. The point of a marketing agency is to make you more money compared to what you would make on your own. The point of the marketing agency is to have all of the learnings and all of the inexperiences through working with multiple customers compared to you working yourself on one account. So the whole idea is in the knowledge and the experience that gives you the efficiency. But when you see a report like this, right away you see that they don't have a clue what they're doing. Or they know that they're doing a bad job, so they're giving it their best to make sure that the client doesn't notice that right away. Because if they wrote here revenue is 0 or revenue is less than what they spent on ads, even like a junior person would be able to see that they're not profitable in the relationship and that might be cut. So in order for you to have a good report, my suggestion is just to keep it super clean. We do not use automated systems, even though we're looking into, again, trying to set it up. But the main point is the metrics that you need. So you need the revenue, you need the sales. In this case, they are a lead company, so they have a sales team that sells the products later to the leads they bring in. Regardless of that, you need to have revenue here. If you're using HubSpot, if you're using Go High Level, doesn't matter. You can plug it in using Zapier and you can actually see the revenue coming in. So even in the case that you get a lot of good leads, it needs to be apparent where the breaking of the sales is. Is it the sales team? Is it the product? What's going on? And you can see that through the numbers. But if you're working with an agency like this, it's just never going to happen. You're not going to get to the results you actually wanted because you do not have a clue where you're going. So I'm going to quickly show you a part of one of our presentations, and this is how we show our customers. So every single agency has screenshots like this, like we're amazing, case studies and everything else. The problem here is that you do not see if they're going to do that for you. They might have 100 customers and these are the 4 best ones. Potentially, like that's the main point, as well as here, like you can again not actually see what was the difference of the company that they brought in or the agency they brought in compared to what they would do without the agency. So you do not know if the agency is responsible for the success. Now, this is how we send out the reports. Super bland, super easy. So this is a weekly report, nothing major. You can read it in under 2 minutes. The main point is you have the spend, revenue, Shopify revenue, and then MER. We're using MER because of the lack of tracking of iOS, and I suggest everybody else to switch to MER and not ROAS. So this is just an example. You give on the bottom an explanation. Again, one of the things that the previous report lacked, explanation or a summary of the media buyer that can interpret the numbers here. So you do not have that in the previous report, meaning that the report is set to be automated. So you actually never get the report. You just get what you already have in your ads panel. It's just already synced to this probably Supermetric system. Now, one of the things that I wanted to show you here, you see how you need to show the numbers as well. This is a monthly report. The monthly report needs to show the months before as well in order for you to check if you're progressing or not. So you can see here, like April was 20% or whatever better than May. The client is going to tell you if they're happy or not with the results. It really depends on the business. And openly, you can see here, you have different segments. Now, this is not the same company. This is not the same type of business. So they do not have the same metrics, but you get the drift. You have the most important things here. And you do not need to spend days figuring out what actually happened. Are we making money or are we not making money? Super simple. Another report summary here. That's a yearly summary. This is a bit of an really old report, I think 2020. But you can see here how we progressed, what was the high time, what was the low time. You can then use this report to plan your strategy for next year. You can already see that February is going to be a bad month, and then the end of the year it starts picking up. Something like that can lead to consistency and a strategy that you exactly know what to do in each quarter, and that's going to help you then prepare and get better and better. But without the reporting, you won't be able to see it. Now, another thing, I've been working with massive companies over the years, and some of them are banks. And I still cannot believe that a company that's a bank, like a financial institution, gets a report like this. This report is 100% bullshit. And I'm not gonna budge from this. So this is I think even 8-9 figure company. It's insane how big they are. And then they get a report that says lift. And I asked their CMO, what does lifted users mean? And she's like, I do not have a clue. My instant reaction was like, you should get fired instantly. Like, what are you as a CMO doing here if you're accepting a report like this? So if there's a CMO watching this, and you have a report that you do not know how to read, it's your responsibility to make it a valuable report. You need to require the KPIs, not the agency. But this is an example of just how bad it could get. Now, I'm going to move forward with a couple of other topics, and this is ownership. If you do not have ownership of the data, of the account, of the creatives, or anything else, especially the website and tracking pixel, you might end up working with a company that's a predatory agency. Predatory agencies are the agencies that screw you over to sign a contract and then do everything they can to make you stick with them for as long as possible. So think about it. You start working with an agency and then they keep the ad account, they keep the pixel, they keep everything that's actually really important for the next agency that comes in. So if you see this lacking in any offer you get with the marketing agency, that you do not own your assets, run for the hills. This is one of the biggest red flags that you can find. Okay. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the guarantees. Why are the guarantees currently not a thing that's working in the industry? The problem is that the volatility of the world and every single industry with that is a problem. You cannot actually rely on consistent results for every industry. Who worked in the restaurant industry in 2020 when COVID started got wiped out totally. So that's one of the reasons why the big agencies have to move away from this model, because they have a lot of staff to pay. We have 30 people in our team. I cannot rely on the wins to make sure that I'm gonna get paid and then my staff through that. Another thing you need to also think about is the guarantee that eliminates the option of you having all of the control. So if you do not have 100% control over everything that happens in the company, you do not have a way to actually guarantee results. 80% of our projects that fail due to the business owner not actually doing his part or messing it up. So the main thing you need to require from your marketing agency is going to be that they're going to be honest. There's not going to be any bullshit. And again, bullshit is one of the key reasons why most projects fail, because it takes you too long to figure out where the problem is, because everybody is trying to eliminate themselves from being responsible for the problem. So the last check mark you need to give to your agency is going to be the plan of action that you're going to take. If you do not have a strategic account plan, an outlined plan for the next 3 to 6 months, or regardless like how long is your contract, you do not want to move forward with that because you do not know what you're paying for. All of the successful agencies, and I mean all of them, have a procedure that's quite similar. And that's, first, we really need to figure out what's going on. Why do you actually need an agency? What problem do you have, and can we solve it? So that's the first step. It's kind of like going to the doctor's office. You do not get a shot on the door. You actually get first examined, and then you do tests, and then they make a plan of action that they tell you, and then they take it. The exact same thing needs to happen here. This is your business. You cannot just give it to somebody and just pray to God it works. Unfortunately, that happens way too often still. So the strategic account plan is going to give you understanding of their expertise, what they bring to the table, as well as how your business is going to change through engaging this agency. Be sure to always work with a company that does that, even if they require you to pay for a strategic account plan. We require people to pay for one, and it shouldn't be a problem because they need to spend a lot of time actually compiling one, going through your accounts. Another thing you need to understand is they need to go into the accounts. So in this case, just a view access will be enough. Do not give admin access to anyone. Now, the second stage of this video is talking about the most common practices people use to figure out if an agency is good or not. Now, most people want guarantees, and I mentioned to you the guarantees we look at. The guarantees are a problem because most agencies now started doing a two-sided type of guarantee. So they ask you for an upfront payment that's like $5,000 to $10,000. That's a setup fee. That setup fee is total bullshit because that's actually the way they break even or make money. And then if they provide you results, they are going to charge you, and that's just extra gravy on top. The problem with the setup fee is that fee is not included in the guarantee of performance. So that way you actually end up paying 5 to 10K and losing everything right away. So that's a reverse psychology moment that you need to pick up. Do not pay a lot in advance because you do not get the money back. You will never get the money back. The second thing is going to be percentage deals. A lot of business owners think that you need a percentage deal, you need a partnership, and only that way then an agency is going to be working well for you. Yes, I agree that the partnerships, especially percentage partnerships, might make sense, but only if I as an agency ask for a percentage of the company, not revenue. Why? First of all, percentage of revenue is not stable. The company owner might mess it up and then you lose all of the money and then on top of it, you need to pay your staff. So it's not a system that's actually stable for the agency owner. It only works well for the side that is getting the benefits. So that's problem number one. So the second problem is just the nature of the engagement. An agency comes in, gives their IPs, gives their systems, and everything is there to stay. So the problem here is that if you do not have a system to get the long-term value as an agency owner, you're giving long-term value and getting short-term benefits, meaning like only the percentage of revenue at that moment you generate. So I would understand if an agency owner tells you that they need like 5-year commitment or something like that to a plan like that. But a lot of times I just see business owners being enraged through what they went through and then just openly attacking anyone that doesn't want to do a percentage deal. Don't be that person. Understand both sides of the coin and make sure that you make it work. But the percentage deal 99% of the time doesn't work. References. References are one of the key things to use to check if somebody's actually good or bullshitting. The problem with, again, hiring an agency is going to be that they have a couple hundred clients and they're going to have like the top 5 clients they are going to recommend you to talk with. So that's not going to give you an actual representation of their work. So I only use references to check the people we employ, not the companies that we engage or something like that. Because again, everybody's going to have a couple of those ready to go. Now, the last thing is going to be case studies. Everybody has a case study. I showed you in the slideshows just before how those screenshots look. They look amazing. If your account would look like that, you would be swimming in money. Whoop-de-doo. Everybody can fake one or have one that was successful. Doesn't mean anything regarding you and your engagement of that company. That's why you need a strategic account plan. That's why it needs all to make sense to you. And you need to ask all of the questions you have in order for you to be able to move forward. So we got to the end of the video. I hope this is going to help you. But before we end, let's just quickly reiterate what makes an engagement of an agency successful. First is going to be communication. Second is going to be reporting. Third is going to be the quality of the work that you're going to get. basically you get that through the strategic account plan. Those three are going to be the key pillars of a successful relationship. Now, I can always record a video talking about the tracking and what types of ads work and whatever, but that comes second. First things first, this is the foundation for success. If you're interested in a strategic account plan for 2024, I'm going to add a link to the description below and you can click there and sign up. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Thank you so much.